Is Bree Williams, and this is the narrative called The Babysitter. It was the summer of my 4th year when I was all legs and blonde hair, as my father often described me. I was the youngest of 11 and spoiled rotten. Play was an everyday, all-day excursion for myself, my sister, and right above me, as well as keeping up with my brothers, Talon and Cole. Talon was 6 years older than me and self-proclaimed the boss of our play. He often led us into the big T, trouble. If something looked like it shouldn't be done or needed to be tried, Talon was right there to get it done, and he had his little brother and his 2 little sisters to make sure he got it done. Mom did not often want us alone with Daddy. This day would be different. Before she left, we were all in the yard as Daddy raked the old pine needles and put them into a pile to burn. As she called out instructions to my father, "Now make sure you watch those kids and don't let them get hurt." She continued on, "Honey, make sure you wait on burning those until I come home. I don't want the kids by any fire." Kisses and hugs, and a few tears later, Mom was pulling out of the drive, and the 4 of us were planning our day. Cole and Talon were steady argument over who was going to get on top of the small red barn where Talon had just thrown Cole's hacky sack. Cole said he didn't do it himself. I found my head bobbing back and forth from one boy to the other as they argued. Talon made the challenge good when he told Cole he would give him all his Matchbox cars if he went on top the barn. I could tell my big brother was thinking hard, and Talon was a mischievous one. He always found a way to get someone else to do something. That way, if it didn't turn out so well, he would be none the less for it. Talon helped that along by pushing Mom's garden table up close to the side of the barn to get the younger Cole started. Cole had just turned 10 the week before, but was far older than those tender years. He looked at Talon sternly and spouted out to him, "Keep your dumb cars, chicken. I will go up and get it since I know you're too scared to." And with that, my youngest but older brother began climbing the table to the side of the barn. I kept my eyes closed and held my hands over them just in case I decided to look anyway. All it took to move my hands was the sound of glass breaking and a little shout from Cole, "Get Daddy!" Cody and I ran to our father, who was only 15 feet away, raking without a care in the world. Daddy rushed over to Cole's bloody foot and replied, "Your mother is going to kill you. And then she is going to kill me too, son." Cole had slid down the side of that shiny red tin of the little barn, and one foot went in straight through my mother's antique garden table. I hugged Daddy's neck and jumped in the killing conversation. "Then she's gonna kill you again for breaking her table." 25 feet away from him, that was until Cody, my daring big sister, jumped that pile, and she almost made it. I could see her back right foot as it slid into those blistering ashes. Sparks flew every direction. She let out a cry of horror, and Daddy came running. He told me to. She whimpered as Daddy carried her to the house, motioning us to follow. After Daddy cleaned Cody's foot up and sat us all around in front of the television with a stern warning if any of us were to move, what would happen, and he went back outside and put the little piles of fire out with the water hose. I was still patting Cody's back as her tears streamed down her face. An hour later, when Mom arrived back home, Cole was still hovering over his wound. Cole got 6 stitches. Cody received an appointment for 3rd-degree burns on her foot. I got a popsicle, and Talon got a spanking and sent him to his room for 2 hours. But Daddy, I got a lecture that lasted 2 weeks. Daddy wrapped my toe-headed brother's foot with a wet washcloth and sat him in the shade in one of the chairs from the now broken table, and made it clear to Cole to stay put. Talon, with his sneaky self, just ventured off to the next big teen, knowing his little brother would keep the code of silence about why Cole got injured. Daddy decided to keep us busy raking pine needles with him and beginning to pile them in the little rows to later burn. In an hour we had too many piles to count, so our father, against our mom's wishes, started to burn them 2 piles at a time. Yeah, y'all stay out of that, you hear? I'm in enough trouble as it is, Daddy hollered at us in his deep southern accent. As the poles grew smaller, Daddy allowed Talon to throw more piles on top of the burning ones. Cody joined me in as I watched the action. Cole remained true to his father's command and never left that chair, even though he had a scornful look on his face.